Well, the holidays are finally upon us, and somehow we made it. 2020's been rough, but we're going to get through this. But you know what? We do still have a lot to be thankful for, and that's what we're going to talk about here today. I'm Eric Petzolano, and we're coming in hot. Welcome to Coming in Hot here on CIH Media. I'm Eric Petzolano, as I mentioned just a few moments ago. Joining me today, we've got an audible that we had to call. The commissioner of the Anaheim Ducks High School Hockey League, Matt Blanchard, is here.
Thanks for having me. I feel honored to be the first official guest of the show.
Yeah, technically that is true. And when you sat down there, you were telling us how much different it looks from this angle.
Yeah, normally, yeah, you're right. I see it on the other side. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Well, all right. Well, we didn't have our first FCC violation in the first minute and a half of a new guest. Well, today, holidays are coming up. We're going to talk about things that we're thankful for in the world of sports, and we've got a lot to cover. I'm sure you've seen a lot of things in the past.
Trying to say I'm old?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Yes, that's what we do here.
Experience is the term I like to use.
Okay, we'll go with experienced. You've experienced quite a bit in the sports world. We're going to break it down to three categories today. Things we're thankful for in the past, in the present, and God willing, the future that is coming upon us. Hopefully, we'll get to see a lot more sports coming up soon.
Nice.
Obviously, you're the commissioner of the Anaheim Ducks High School Hockey League. We're waiting to get back to hockey. I'm sure that's going to be something that you bring up in your future segment.
Could be, yeah. Now that I know what the topic is, I'm good. Yeah, now the mics in my head are going around and trying to make sure everything is good.
I purposely did not prepare for this because I wanted it to be something that was organic, that just kind of came up as a whim.
You did a good job.
No notes.
I mean, I know I'm sitting in a big chair taking both Chuck and Mike's spot, but this is a lot of pressure now.
No pressure. There's no pressure for anybody when they come on this show. And I think our viewers know that because we're nothing but professional here. Well, we'll start, like this is a Christmas carol. We'll go to the past first and talk about our things that we're thankful for in the sports world that happened in the past. You are the guest. I will let you go first.
Things I'm thankful for. I would say, let's think about this in the past. How far back do we want to go? I would say the number one past moment for me has probably been mentioned on the show a number of times, I'm thinking, and that's obviously February of 1980.
I knew you were going to bring it up.
So, well, you have to.
Yeah.
If you're a hockey guy, I mean, that's the one moment I think in the past that you are faithful, happy for and ecstatic that it happened. I mean, everybody remembers where they were. So I think that is one moment from the past in the sports world that I'm grateful for. I think it's beyond that. That's a whole entire game. I think if you look at the big picture, I'm thankful for that they invented the sporting world, the sports of hockey, and whether how far back we go to the Roman age of sports, but sports have been around forever, so I'm happy that it's come around. Exact moments in time or exact individual moments in a game, there's been so many. I mean, I think of like the Doug Flutie pass in Boston College against, I think it was Miami.
Yep.
I mean, the first Hail Mary pass that really worked, Dustin's name, from Boston College. So, I think that moment sticks in my mind. Reggie Jackson, I was in Connecticut as a kid when that was all going down and Mr. October was formed. So I think, those moments, which, as I mentioned, Reggie Jackson brings up probably one of the worst moments of my life from a kid. Was the Bucky Dent home run.
Yeah.
For those that don't remember, I mean, the Bucky Dent home run put the Red Sox out of the playoff picture back in the day when it was only two teams that went to the playoffs.
And changed his middle name. I think the initial is F, from what I understand.
Yeah, they added that.
Yeah.
But I remember as a kid, we were in school when that happened in Connecticut, and the school class that day was to watch the baseball game.
Yep.
It was great. We all sat on the floor and watched the game. So those are my past moments as far as what I'm thankful for, to see that stuff.
Yeah, a lot of that A lot of that was great. I wasn't around yet in 1980, so I didn't get to see that all go down. But I mean, when you talk about the invention of television and the instant replay, and that game was not on television live here in the States. It was on a delay by the time everybody saw it. So there was rumors going around, from what I understand, that they had won, and a lot of people were saying, I won't believe it until I see it.
Yeah. I'll interject real quick. My dad made us go to the mall. We couldn't watch anything. It was complete, utter silence in our house until the game. So we didn't know what happened until we watched the game in our house.
Oh, yes. So the days of avoiding spoilers when it wasn't all that difficult. Now you can't get away from anything.
Yeah.
You watch it live, or you're going to find out as it happens.
Yep.
For me, I think a lot of the past moments had to do with individual players themselves, that we were so fortunate for my generation to watch Kobe Bryant, to watch Derek Jeter from when their careers started all the way to when their careers finished, even though they were on the teams that I will always mortally root against, right? I was not a Laker fan, not a Yankee fan, was born in Massachusetts, same neck of the woods you're from, but being able to watch players like that who transcend generations, that were always going to go down as some of the greatest players of all time. I'm thankful that I've seen 3 of my 4 favorite professional teams win a championship. I've cried in sports exactly one time in my life, and it was when the 49ers won the NFC Championship game a few years ago against Atlanta.
Those guys.
Yeah, those guys. I think I talked about that on a show prior. But I got to see the 49ers win a Super Bowl. I got to see the Colorado Avalanche win a couple of Stanley Cups, and I got to see the Atlanta Braves win one time. So I got those 4. I know I'm never going to see the Utah Jazz win, and that's something I'm not thankful for in the future. So I guess
never say never.
Just leave that out. Yeah, you'd think.
Never say never.
You'd think, but
put that in the future segment.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. And they ran into Michael Jordan in the past, and that's why they weren't able to get a couple. But those are some of the things in the past that I'm very thankful that I got to see. I guess we can move right along, and as Ebenezer Scrooge was carried from the past to the present, we will do the same. What are some things that we're thankful for right now, which I know there's a lot of mess going on right now, but to keep on going, you got to look at the positives.
Yeah, presently, and today, right now, yeah, you shake our heads, really.
Yeah.
But I would say, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the Anaheim Ducks High School Hockey League. I'm happy that, I'm thankful for that's around. I mean, I think for the student athletes that are involved with it, our hope is that they enjoy that, the experience they play in the league. So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for I'm thankful for the technology that we're using today. Not within the Anaheim Ducks High School Hockey League, but obviously in professional sports and college sports, remote or instant replay I think is huge. I think that's done a lot for sports. Everything from baseball to football to cricket. It's something that needs to be used. I don't think it's perfect the way they have it. For example, the college basketball review rule to me is utterly stupid. In the last 2 minutes of a game, you review it. I don't know why the other 18 don't matter, but I'm thankful for at least they have it in the last 2 minutes. I still think it was used wrong in a certain championship game, but that's a topic for it should have gone in my past topics.
Yeah, right.
But I think that I'm thankful for the technology that we have. I'm thankful for the announcers that we have. We have some really good sports announcers, whether it's you folks that do your games with us all the way to the upper level. There are some really good sports announcers. I mean, and I think that's generational. I mean, you can go back 50 years ago, and there were great sports announcers, and I think they were more important back then because they didn't have the video technology that they had now. So I think the announcers I'm thankful for because they paint a very good picture of what, even though we're seeing it on the television, or your device, it's a great. They're good at what they do. So those are the major things I'm thankful for.
The amount of work they put in to call a game, night in and night out, is. If people knew exactly what they did every game, I think there'd be a lot more appreciation there.
Yeah.
This is the part where I'm going to get the backlash on social media, but my favorite announcer is Joe Buck, and I don't think anybody works harder than that guy does going in week in and week out. I love Joe Davis, who's locally here, who calls the Dodger games and also does some NFL games for Fox as well. But there's just a whole array of play-by-play announcers who don't get the credit they deserve for the work they put in. And
I've just watched you guys do the local games. I've never seen another level of it, but I can only imagine. You guys have your sheets around for our games, and it's amazing. So I can only imagine what you know, what it goes through at the pro level.
Yeah, we put in a lot of work. It's nowhere near what they can do because, as you might know, high schools are very secretive about their information. You don't really get a ton of info out of them. You can get something, but you don't get what the pros get. That's for sure. We just do the best we can and try to learn the kids as we watch them through their careers. Present things that I'm thankful for is the fact that there's sports going on at all. Look, we knew there was going to be challenges getting back onto the field, getting back to the ice, getting back on the court. And we knew that there were going to be some postponements that come out of this. We knew the virus was going to spread at some events. It was just a matter of how do you limit it to be able to carry things out successfully. The NHL pulled it off. The NBA pulled it off. Major League Baseball, they got to the end, but they had a few more bumps in the road. The NFL's doing their best right now. I think it's debatable whether or not they're doing their best, but they've had to move a few games around here and there. Obviously, safety is paramount and the #1 priority. You're dealing with it, I'm sure, at the high school ranks, trying to get the kids back to the ice safely. But just the fact that we have something in the meantime is the thing that I'm most thankful for. And being able to watch an NBA playoff game, a Stanley Cup playoff game, an NFL game, and a Major League Baseball playoff game, all on the same day.
I particularly like the 9 a.m. hockey games. Those are great.
Well, you look at what happened this past Saturday when USC played a 9 a.m. kickoff at the Coliseum. It was the earliest game ever that they've played since they've been in the conference. And
they played like it was 9 a.m.
They did play like it was 9 a.m. They still somehow found a way to win that game. It was,
at least they did. That's good.
It took a miracle to get it done, but they were able to get it, and they've got
I can only imagine you with your phone, throwing it around the room.
I think
no comment.
You can ask my better half about that one. That was quite the interesting morning watching that. It was one of those wake up and turn the TV on type of games. You don't get those
but again,
too often
9
out there.
Sports are right there, ready to go. Perfect. You know, it's what we're thankful for.
Right, and then at 7:30 at night, you get a Mountain West kickoff, and you watch that game all the way till 11:30 because they take forever, and you've got wall-to-wall action on a Saturday.
Well,
it's
this past weekend was the Notre Dame game, so yeah.
That's right. And that game ran long. That pushed Saturday Night Live back a half hour, 45 minutes.
Or something like that. It was great.
Yeah, so it's great just to have something going on right now that we can watch and you know, cheer on as fans. USC's got a big game coming up next Saturday now. You know, they struggled with Arizona State.
In the desert.
And now they got to go to Tucson, a place that you know well.
It's going to be a good game. That's all I mean, poor Arizona. I mean, Utah ran scared. I mean, I texted you on that. I said, Utah's running scared. So, you know, they don't want to play Arizona the first opening weekend. So, you know, they're we'll see how they look. They're not a football school.
No, not quite.
They weren't when I was there, and they're not now.
Yeah, no, more of a basketball school, U of A out there.
Not much more. That's to be seen too.
Well, yeah, that's true. They've fallen on a bit of rough times. They'll figure it out. They'll be back.
They used to be a good baseball school.
Is that right? Yeah. Good baseball team, huh?
Yeah.
Pac-12 baseball, not something you hear about too often.
Like the Pac-8 back in the day, but
That is true. I think UCLA is really the cream of the crop in the Pac-12 in baseball now. Yeah, and not so much in anything else, but in baseball.
What movie was the University of Arizona in?
Oh, asking me on the spot. I have no idea. For baseball?
No, just a regular old classic college movie, comedy, mind you. Took place at
Animal House.
Adams College.
Animal House?
That was University of Oregon.
Oh, that was Oregon. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
You don't know that trivia question?
No.
Adams College in the Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, the University of Arizona trivia.
And they filmed it on campus down there, huh?
The A of Adams College, the A of Arizona kind of worked itself together there. Imagine that.
Did it look the same? And me asking.
Unfortunately, that was the logo my freshman year there. Then they changed it to the current logo in my sophomore year. Yeah, but
I like the current logo. I think it's fine.
Yeah, it's an A. How exciting can you make it?
That's why they have graphic designers who do all that stuff, and we just sit here and talk about sports, and we criticize what they can do.
So that was that. Revenge of the Nerds was filmed at the University of Arizona.
Never saw it, and I'm going to get reamed for this.
You've never seen it?
Look, you guys know, everybody that's in the hockey league, you all know that there's a lot of movies that I have not seen. Yeah.
Okay. I was just going to say, you put it on the tee for me, I might as well say it. It's all about you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's plenty of people who would beg to differ, myself included.
Okay.
Never about me. All right, that's what we were thankful for in the past. Now we've got the future coming up, and of course it's as wide open as it has ever been. But what are some of the things that you'll be thankful for, looking forward to coming up here in the future?
Some of the things I wish and look forward to in the future. I look aimlessly to the sky as I contemplate this. I think more technology. If we can get, I don't want to remove a baseball umpire from the game, but if I can get like baseball strike zone adjusted for each batter, where the pitcher throws it, and we know if it's a strike or a ball immediately, that'd be rad. I think that'd be cool. I think.
And to be quite honest about it, you wouldn't need to remove a home plate umpire. He's still going to need to be there to call plays at the plate and whatnot. Yep. So and other things that happen, foul ball, whatever.
Yeah.
It would just be for calling balls and strikes.
Yeah.
Which I'm fundamentally against, by the way, for technology purposes.
See, well, I think it'd be good. I think, a pitcher that throws a great pitch should be rewarded for that. You shouldn't be penalized because an umpire missed it, and vice versa.
Which is a good point, and my counter argument to that is baseball has always been the quintessential mirror of life. Sometimes you ain't gonna get the call, and you got to learn how to deal with it.
But a strike zone is a defined area.
It is technically a defined area, yes.
So if you throw the ball in that defined area, it's a strike.
Yeah.
So the pitcher has done his part, or the batter has done his part. So why should human error be entered into the equation?
We also realize that if that were to happen, arguments would drop significantly. Yeah. Which is a very entertaining part of baseball.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, that's, catching the video of a manager yelling balls and strikes, I always think is comical anyway.
And watching him try to get the mask up in time before he runs out of the dugout. Who knows how much longer that's going to last, but at least in the meantime.
But the other thing I really enjoyed over the lock bubble of hockey, of the NHL hockey, were some of the different camera angles that they introduced. Yeah. There were some new camera angles that they experimented with, which I thought were fascinating. I thought they were really good.
I think they said they normally have somewhere around 30 cameras per game, and in the bubble they had like 48.
Is that what,
they added a ton of more cameras so they could grab those angles.
And there was some sweeping when the puck entered the zone. It would come around and kind of come back from behind, so you can see them set up in the. I mean, they were fast and stuff like that. If they can make the game more entertaining for a fan to watch, I mean, that's what I'd be thankful for. I mean, the game itself is going to be beautiful. I mean, I'm talking about hockey. To me, that's the sport, and it's great. But if you can relay that to a viewer that's not there, I think that's what I'm really most excited about. I don't think there's new sports or I don't know how you can make cricket exciting, but maybe you can. I don't know.
And that's a really good point about having the viewer at home be entertained, because how many people, I'm sure you hear it every day, boy, I'd rather be there than watch it at home, especially when it comes to hockey.
Yep.
But not everybody can be there. There's a finite number of seats in that arena that they sell. So what do you do to the people who can't get there to have them want to tune in? And those camera angles have been great. Building a rail on the boards and having the camera sweep along, you can do that. Yeah. Is it going to obstruct some people's view in the arena? I don't know. You might be able to have a camera small enough. It might be able to work, every single way.
Well, I mean, even the sounds that the camera picks up of a collision or body check sticks against the glass. I mean, those to me, that's the game.
Yeah.
That's hearing players chirp back and forth, or the collisions, or the discussions on the bench. To me, that's the game. Pick that up. I'm not a fan in today's pandemic world of watching sports. I'm not a fan of the fake fan noise. I think it's stupid. I don't think it should be there. I think let's hear the sounds of the game. For once, we can hear the sounds of the game. Let's hear it. Let's hear what a tackle sounds like in football, or what God forbid, a fumble and the guys are clawing, and I can't even imagine what that sounds like.
Yeah, the fake fan noise for me, take it or leave it. It's there, whatever. If it's gone, whatever. I don't really care. But yes, I do love the sounds of the game. You can hear the quarterback calling the cadence and making his audibles and all that. But you're right. I think the tough part is the censors, right? Those are the guys who are going to be working overtime. You got to pay them.
Well, instead of making crowd noise, have them censor they'll ever censor it. So those are the things I'm excited for the future about. I think where it can go. I think that if you look at it over the last 10 years, it's grown exponentially of the variance of how we can cover things.
I've known you for over a decade now, and the one question you ask at the end of every single hockey season is, what can we do to make the league better? And you don't just mean how the league is organized, but you mean the gameplay. You mean how can we make it better for the fans? It's everything, right? But you ask it every single year at the end.
Yeah.
How can we make it better? How can we do it better than we did last time?
Yeah, and that's part of the future. You want to bring it. You always want to try to raise the bar every year, and that's whether you can pull it off or not is another question.
Yeah.
But that's the future for me.
For me, looking forward to the future is somewhat along those same lines. It's how are these games going to evolve? When you look at baseball specifically, is the DH going to stick around for both leagues? Is that runner on second rule gonna stick around an extra inning? Do I like it? No, I don't like it. But is it going to stick? Is it going to stick around? What are they going to choose to keep around? How are these games going to evolve? Especially now that if it's all about safety and trying to keep the transmission of this virus down, what else is going to be implemented to either A, make sure the safety element is there, B, make sure the time element is there. Let's be real. The reason they stuck a runner on second base was for time. They don't want the players to stick around each other for a longer period of time, but you're already doing it 3 hours. What's the difference if you add another hour and a half when you get to extra innings at that point in time? However, if a game runs 4 hours and it was a 4 o'clock, start time here in the Pacific time zone for an East Coast game, and the Dodgers are coming on at 7:15, you better make sure that East Coast game ends first. Otherwise, everybody's going to stop caring about it and move on, which is the big reason why the NFL went to a finite overtime period and why they shortened it, because, hey, once those morning games are over, it's time to move on to the afternoon. We're not going to sit here and watch this OT.
That's the beauty of baseball, though. There's no time limit in baseball. You can go on as long as you can.
Right now, we only have 2 sports that currently do that, Major League Baseball and the NBA. They're the only 2 sports that do not have a finite amount of time, technically, because if the game is tied at the end of overtime in the NBA, they play another overtime. They can keep going. Yes, I know there is a clock and it does hit 0, but if the game is still tied, they keep going. They keep playing overtimes. It doesn't end in a shootout. It doesn't end in a tie like the NFL and the NHL do. So you're right. But my thing has always been, what are we going to do? Are we going to get a robotic strike zone in Major League Baseball coming up soon? And I think that's one of the things about sports. And I was watching, I don't remember what show it was on TV the other night, where they were talking about why sports are still so important to society, is because it really is the only thing that you have no idea how it's going to end.
Yeah, it's real life drama.
It's real life drama. Yeah. It's the only thing left that you really can't record and watch later.
Yeah.
Television is that way now, right? Yeah. These live events, if you don't watch them live, it's going to get spoiled for you. Someone's going to tell you what happened. You're going to miss it. You have to be in the moment, and you have to watch it live. Sports are the last thing that you have to watch live.
I'll interject something real quick. I mean, I very rarely watch a sporting event from the beginning to the end. But I watched the Clemson Notre Dame game this past, because it was 2 top 5 teams, and you very rarely get that matchup. And probably the best 4.5 hours I've spent on a Saturday night in a long time, other than some things I'd rather forget. But it was a great game, back and forth and up and down. To your point, you had no idea what was going to happen. I mean, and one team kept coming back, and it was just fascinating. Even it was just awesome.
Yeah, and probably better that the best player in the country wasn't there. Otherwise, how good of a game would it have been?
I just imagine that. I know, but you got to play who you play. You got to play with the players you got.
Yeah, that's true. You can talk to the 49ers about that one, who've suffered a worst rash of injuries I've ever seen for any pro team ever. And of course, it's my team because that's my luck. There it is.
You know what this is?
That's the world's smallest violin.
Yes.
That's why we call this show what we do. I'm glad you adapted. Just by sitting in that chair, it kind of changed the attitude.
Channeling Chuck and Mike.
To just get on my case. Oh, my goodness. Past, present, future, things we're thankful for. What are you thankful for? Go ahead and head to our social media accounts at CIH Media on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and tell us what you're thankful for in the sports world, and we'll talk about them on our next show. We talk about the Anaheim Ducks High School Hockey League. Hopefully coming up soon. Are there any updates that you can share with us that you might know about? Like, are these guys going to get back on?
We're looking forward to a season one way or another. We're going to try to do this.
Yeah, I know there's a lot, especially here in this state of, are we going to be able to play? Are we not going to be able to play? And I guess really all we can do is take it day by day, right?
It changes day by day. Yeah. So yes, we're taking it day by day, but our hope is that we play a season.
You talk about looking forward to the technology and how it changes. You looking at anything that you might be able to implement in the league, maybe an instant replay system, anything like that? Has it been discussed, or is that kind of a, yeah, we're going to shy away from that for now?
It was discussed early on, and then this C19 thing hit us, and everything's kind of taking a back seat. So, yeah, we're always throwing around different ideas, experimenting with what we can and can't do. But yeah, we had some ideas. This year, everything's been put on hold, as you can attest to, and it's crazy. So nothing's happening. But we want to do stuff, but we can't this year.
Right.
We just want to play games.
Right. I know.
I'm thankful for the opportunity to try to play games. So.
And if we do get to the ice, if and when we do get to the ice this year, you can catch the Anaheim Ducks High School Hockey League right here on CIH Media throughout the year. One piece of technology that we can say, we're going to have games that have 2 cameras this year. Talked about the NHL adding cameras.
Nice.
We're going to add a camera to our ADHSHL Game of the Week this year on CIH Media, so there's something to look forward to.
Beautiful.
Where I'm putting that second camera, we don't know yet, so we're going to have to figure that out. But
I trust you guys will do a great job.
we do the absolute best that we can.
Before I forget, Happy Thanksgiving.
You know, I always love let me be the first to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. I'm glad you brought it up. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well, and happy holidays. We're gonna get through them. They're gonna come. They're gonna go by the wayside, but we're gonna reset. Everything's gonna be, you know, hopefully back to the way it was by the time we get to 2021. Looking forward to the new hockey season if and when it begins. I can't wait to get back to the ice. It's one of the great institutions we have here in Southern California that I think a lot of people don't know about, and it's really sad. But we're going to do the best we can to get the word out on it and see who knows what the fandom is going to be like inside the rink when we get back to play. But these games are going to be out to be viewed by a larger audience this year to let everybody ease their minds a little bit about how are we going to be able to see the games if we're not allowed to be there.
I think you guys got a good product this year. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, we're going to do the best we can to hopefully bring you games as soon as this new year begins. Want to give real quick, and we haven't done it much this year, and I don't know why, a special thanks to Tate Woodard, who's been our technical director and producer for all of our shows here on CIH Media so far this season. Want to thank Mike Perkins and Chuck Lasik, even though they couldn't be with us here today. But of course, without them, the show really doesn't go on. And to the ADHSHL Commissioner Matt Blanchard for pinch hitting for us here today to talk about things he's most thankful for. Thanks for jumping in here.
You're more than welcome. Glad I could help. I hope I just did them justice in what we talked about today.
Well, there's really only a couple points you have to make when you sit down in one of these esteemed chairs. Number one is just share your thoughts and opinions on sports, and number two is make fun of me. And you hit both of those.
There we go.
So you learned how to come in hot just like the rest of us have. Don't forget, you can follow us on social media and like all of our content. Share your thoughts with us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at CIH Media. And go ahead and share your thoughts about what you're thankful for in the past, the present, and the future. Thanks for joining us today here on CIH Media. I'm Eric Pesolano. The two of us, we've been coming in hot.